The episode starts and we're outside EcomCon Computer Corp, a Fortune 500 research and development computer company. We see two men sneaking above the rooftop. A publicist welcomes a room full of wealthy elites and other industry professionals to the company. We hear someone in the crowd make snarky remarks while she speaks. We meet Langley, a member of the Lone Gunmen. He calls out the publicist as their products are designed to keep tabs on their users. The other two Lone Gunmen, Frohickey and Byers, are in the vents, setting up a computer to hack into the company's security network. They page Langley, who is sent to distract everyone that they're all ready. An ominous man watches him while Langley continues to rant. Langley gets the go-ahead to shut up and feigns an allergic reaction to get the crowd's attention. Frohickey scales down from the vent Mission Impossible style, attempting to steal a computer chip. We see that man checking out the security monitor as they use a computer terminal to hack the Lone Gunman's equipment. Byers is losing control of their wench as they are being hacked. Frohickey is dangling up and down like a worm on a hook. Langley, while still faking his allergic reaction, sees the man at the computers. The security helping him discover he has an earpiece. The man comes in the room with Frohickey and lands a big kiss on him, confusing the hell out of Byers. He steals the chip and leaves. We see Langley being hauled by security as the mystery man walks into the men's washroom. The security finds dangling Frohickey and asks where the chip is. Turns out our mystery man was actually a woman. The Lone Gunmen return to their base of operations after having had a full body search. Byers asks what they're doing. Without proof, they're just conspiracy nuts. They have a paper they put out called The Lone Gunmen, exposing government cover-ups and corruption. Langley says the higher-ups tremble every time they put out one of these babies. Frohickey tells him Eve Hardlow was the woman that took the chip because no man kisses like that. He believes she breached their security. They find a microphone hidden underneath their desk and Langley isn't happy. Byers receives a call about his father and he looks pretty upset. His father passed and they're at his funeral. Langley looks over and notices Eve is there disguised as a man again. Byers launches a model rocket in the air as one last goodbye to his father. Langley rushes over to expose Eve. He grabs her beard, but it's an actual man. So Langley just tells him he has food on his face. A man named Ray Helm wants to speak to Byers about his father and his death. Byers said he died in a car crash, but Ray alludes it's something far more sinister. They're at the site where the accident occurred and the official cause was he fell asleep at the wheel. Ray doesn't believe this at all. He thinks he was murdered. Byers asks him what proof he has and Ray says none, but that's how they want it. The last time Ray and his father spoke, he had found something that worried him, but never got a chance to tell Ray. Ray thinks the government is behind this. The Lone Gunmen search Byers' father's house for evidence. Frohickey trips and notices the carpet is wet, like it has been recently cleaned. Langley is hacking the computer to see if he can find anything. Someone completely wiped the computer except for some government text files. Frohickey is going over the carpet with a black light and finds a large spot of blood. Byers' father was dead long before the car crash, murdered in his own home. They're at a salvage yard looking for his father's car for evidence, but they were too late as it's already been demolished. Langley's at a virtual shooting range. He finds a man named Kimmy the Geek to help him hack the files he found. Kimmy isn't too helpful, but Langley does notice Eve is there. He asks her for the chip and she acts like she doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Frohickey is combing through the crushed car and asks Byers what the point of it is. He and his father never saw eye to eye anyways. Byers says he wants to preserve what his father taught him when he was younger and expose those that try to destroy it. Frohickey pulls some kind of motherboard from the car. Kimmy hacks into the government website for Langley. The others return and show Langley the board they found. It could be used to remotely operate a vehicle and make it look like Byers' dead father was driving. Kimmy uncovers a list of counterterrorism scenarios from the site. They find one for airline terrorism and Langley says his father was murdered over a war game. Someone detects them downloading the file and is tracking them. Kimmy wants to stop, but Byers says, keep downloading. The government is about to get their address, but Frohickey pulls the plug before that can happen. Byers is upset because they nearly had the file. We see the government man countering their hack, and Ray walks out saying he knows where they are. Byers wants to know why his father was shot and why the fake crash. He thinks the blood actually wasn't his father's. They're at the crash scene again and Ray pulls up. The Lone Gunmen tell him they have proof, but not of his murder. They don't think he's dead. The blood found wasn't his father's, but of his would-be assassin. He stupidly fell on the floor where Frohickey did and shot himself. His father then discovered the remote that would have controlled his car. He used it to fake his own death. They were trying to kill his father to hide Scenario 12D, the airline terrorism one discovered earlier. They need Ray's help to find out what the scenario is exactly. Byers is at his father's house looking through his papers. His father Bertram is standing there. A surprised Byers goes over to hug him and his father slaps him. Bertram asks why you couldn't just leave him buried, and Byers asks what Scenario 12D is. His father tells him it's no longer a scenario. The government is going to use an airline to commit a domestic terrorist attack against its own people. This whole thing is about increasing arms sales and starting a manufactured war for profit. His father knows which flight they've chosen to commit this act. Byers returns to their hideout and tells the guys and Ray he found his father back at his house. Ray says he should go see him and leaves. Langley and Frohickey say they can't trust Ray and he's probably involved. Byers knows this and his father is waiting at their door. Frohickey wants to know what's going on, and Byers says they have a plane to catch. They plan on getting on the plane and using hydrocarbon detectors to find a bomb on board. Someone, however, is watching them and informs Ray they're here. They're checking the plane, not finding anything. Byers says they intend to bring down this plane over New York City. But what if there is no bomb? How do you bring down a plane? The same way a dead man drives his own car. Langley and Frohickey are told to hack the navigational system so Byers knows where they're headed. They note someone on the ground is remotely flying the plane. We see Ray and that other man again on the computer. They have access to the plane. Byers tells them he needs that flight plan now. Langley says his flight is going to make an unscheduled stop in 22 minutes at the corner of Liberty and Washington, the World Trade Center. His father runs to tell the pilot they're going to crash into the World Trade Center. He tells the pilots, but they just don't believe him, so he turns off their autopilot and they realize they have no control. Langley has lost control and can't gain access to the plane. Frohickey leaves as he has a plan. He finds Eve and tells her he needs that chip or people will die. They're heading towards the buildings and the pilots declare an emergency. The plane is about to hit, and then Langley gains remote access again as we see Eve helping him with the use of the chip. The plane narrowly misses the buildings with everyone inside in hysterics. They get off the plane and Byers says they can expose everything. His father doesn't want to though, as they'll kill him if he does. The lone gunmen have no story to write for their paper as they have no proof of what happened. They do, however, have the chip that Eve gave them, so they start writing about the spying computer chip and the episode ends. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you could like the video and subscribe, it would help me immensely. Thank you for watching and have a good one.